Hi, I'm Sarah the Ginger.
Hello, my name is Orion and I am the Kiwi.
And today we're with Connor, and he's going to be interviewing us our most commonly asked questions.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
You, Orion, are obviously not from America. Where are you from?
I'm from Scandinavia.
Is that it?
No, New Zealand. Not Australia, New Zealand.
How did you guys meet?
We met in New Zealand. I was traveling with a friend, and her friend's friend was speaking at this Easter camp, which is like a fall retreat for youth groups, and he asked if I wanted to be a leader, and Orion was there. I was just in New Zealand visiting Lord of the Rings sites. I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan, and my friend and I, when we saw the first movie, we were like, we're going there one day. So we did, and when we were there, we just tried to meet as many people as possible and just see what happened. And then after Easter camp, my friend and I were headed down south to the capital of New Zealand, and this guy found me on Facebook, and we started talking a little bit, and we were headed back through his hometown on our way back to where we were homestaying, and we decided to stay, and he asked if I wanted to hang out with, I thought he wanted to hang out with a bunch of people from camp, and it turns out it was a date, and it was just the two of us. So I ended up going out on my first date with him unknowingly, and then we were staying with some people from camp, and they asked if I wanted to stay and help with the kids for the next week.
Wait, hold up. Unknowingly, I asked you on a date. You said yes.
I thought other people would be there.
Okay.
I thought it would be like a hangout with everyone from camp.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Well, it wasn't. And so, yeah, we hung out for that first day, and she was staying at the pastors that were also at the Easter camp when we first met. So we hung out a few times at their house and did heaps of Kiwi stuff, like playing cricket. And
Yep, I learned how to play cricket.
which was very strange. She read me books, which I hate reading, and now I sort of like reading.
We had that first week in Hamilton, where he's from, and then we kept in touch.
That's New Zealand, not Australia.
Texting and Facebook, and then he was up in Auckland for an internship week at a camp.
Of course.
Yeah, so I met up with him, and we went out with all the interns and hung out and held hands for the first time.
I'm supposed to tell them that.
And
No, your mum's gonna find out.
I got to meet more of his friends. And then I had 1 whole month left in New Zealand, and then my last day he met up with me in Auckland City, and we had breakfast and we walked around, and I got to hear his testimony, and then we met up with my host family for lunch, and then he went with us to the airport to send us off, which I kept going into security and not having a form filled out, so I'd have to come back out and give him a goodbye hug, fill out another form, go back in, realize I did it wrong, come back out, say goodbye again. So we said goodbye like 4 times.
I'm pretty sure you just did it on purpose. But...
No, airport security and I don't get along.
And I thought that was it, because I was like, she's going to go back to doing life in her own life and forget about this New Zealand guy that she had met. And so I was just like, yeah, whatever, bye. And then, yeah, she got in contact with me. And so I realised that it wasn't just a New Zealand fling or whatever you want to call it. And yeah, there was a little bit more to it, I guess.
Yeah, every time I got to an airport with Wi-Fi, I would message him and update him on our journey. And yeah, then when we got home, we just continued talking. FaceTime was amazing.
No.
Amazing that we have that technology, not amazing that we're in different countries.
No.
Okay, I'm just okay.
So overall, how was the long distance?
It's not ideal,
The
but
best time ever.
obviously it can be done. A lot of people said this is never going to work, and we made it work. We ended up getting to the point where we were FaceTiming every night, his morning because of time
My
change.
afternoon.
His afternoon.
So it was your midnight and my 4 o'clock, which was the middle of my day. So it was very annoying. and I missed out on a lot of things, but I guess it was worth it.
We worked out game nights where he found Guess Who and Battleship. So those are games you can have 2 different parts of it, and so we were able to play through FaceTime. And then my mom found this hilarious, but I'm a seamstress, I tied fabric to my headboard, would slide my phone in, and then on the iPad we could watch Netflix or movies together at the same time, so we could have movie nights or game night. I made him watch a lot of Gilmore Girls.
I spoke with her mum and her dad, and that was the first time I actually spoke with them properly, and they interviewed me and asked me all sorts of questions that I don't know if Sarah knows about.
They FaceTimed one night when I was out with friends.
So it was definitely intense because I had never done that sort of thing before, and that was it was just nerve-wracking. So long story short, I just said that I really want to come over, and so I was just emailing her mother, trying to figure out days and times and whatnot, and we came to a conclusion that the fares were paid and I was ready to go. So her mum and dad gave me the green light to come over, and Sarah had an idea that I was coming over, sort of.
I knew that he would probably be coming, but I didn't know exactly when, because I had left the end of April 2015 and we started dating December 2015.
Which I asked her out and it took her about, a week and a half?
Maybe I made him wait
maybe
I think 2 weeks before I said yes, that I would date him.
And she said I have to ask her out again, but I said no, because if I ask once, I mean it. And she said yes. So yeah, we started dating in December 2nd in New Zealand, December 1st in America, and I then made the first journey over in February.
And he's still here, his first and only current journey.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been here since February 4th, and I surprised her. She had no idea, and I walked up the stairs, long story short, walked up the stairs in the house, popped my head through her doorway, and she flipped out. She freaked, and I was still trying to register being in America because I'd flown just over 40 hours of travel time. So, and I was very tired because I got there in the morning and had about 3 hours sleep over all that travel time.
And I didn't let you sleep the rest of the day until about midnight.
Yes, and so yeah, we were both just really excited to be together again. It was definitely really cool. I make jokes that I'm leaving. Realistically, I don't want to leave. I don't want to be leaving because I have a flight booked for July 31st, which is actually just over a month, about a month and 3 days away. And I'm pretty sure I'm not leaving on that flight.
You don't want to leave America, or?
I want to leave America. I miss my country, but I don't want to leave Sarah here.
And so. I don't want to leave America unless we're married. But I've always wanted to live outside of America. So
that's the next question. When is the wedding?
Talk to this guy.
Orion.
To be announced.
No ring yet.
We shall see how time rolls on and see where God wants to take us and see how everything falls into place. I want to ask you a question. First thoughts of when we met? First thoughts of when we met?
We got put on dish duty, and I hate dishes. I would rather scrub toilets than do dishes. And he took over all the dishwashing. He kicked all of us out, especially the ladies, and said, I'm going to do all these dishes. And he was just washing dishes and singing and having a blast, and just seeing him serve and then interact with the high school students. That's all stuff that's really important to me. So I was like, this guy's really cool.
First impression of Sarah is I walked in and saw this tiny white girl that I realized was from America because she spoke, and like with my job before being an intern, I was meeting a lot of foreigners, so I loved meeting foreigners no matter where they were from. I think when she caught my eye was we did this task where we were making a craft to represent. I think it might have been what Jesus did for us on the cross, and we were going to pin it to the cross or something. Oh no, that was something else. Just what Jesus did, like two sides, or a representation of past and past and present or future. And she did exactly the craft that I was thinking about doing, which was the weirdest thing ever, which was your two-sided heart that I kept, which she didn't know. And that's how I found her name, because her name was written on the back, and found her on Facebook. But that was just really weird, because I was thinking about it, and then I went to get paper for it, and I'd come back and she had just done it. And I was like, okay. Sort of. You caught my eye because you did the exact same thing I was just about to do, and that was really weird. Those things don't happen normally. And at the time I was always like a really weird, like semi-superstitious. When people did things, I was like, I'm watching you. But yeah, and then, well, that's first impression.
So I think that's the most commonly asked questions we get.
I'm also not related to Gandalf.
Yeah, he's
or
not
any
a
of the
hobbit.
hobbits.
No.
Just because I'm from New Zealand doesn't mean I'm 4'3". I've got hairy feet. Or from a movie that was filmed in my country.
Yeah. People ask him about Lord of the Rings a lot, which is understandable because that's why I was there. But yeah, people, strangers, waitresses, people at stores, they just randomly start talking to us and want to know our story and why he's here. And so we decided to make this video and just kind of explain and answer some of those commonly asked questions that we get asked all the time. If we ever do get married, our list is going to be super long because all these strangers seem to want to come to our wedding.
Oh yes,
so
many people have been inviting themselves.
Yeah. Like, hi, nice to meet you. We're coming to your wedding. And we're like, oh.
I've actually had a few people tell me that I could sell this story as a love story and they could make a Hollywood movie about it and we could be millionaires. But I mean, apart from that,
yeah,
I'm in America for now and we'll see what happens.